wrap up, I'm going to be sharing with you guys all of the books that I read in the month of May. It wasn't good. It was not a good month of reading, that's for sure. It was a fun month, just not for reading. This month was Mother's Day, and I decided to make my mom and my mother-in-law both cardigans for Mother's Day. And I made these patchwork crochet cardigans for them. Those cardigans are very time consuming, and so I didn't get as much time to read. I just want to let you guys know beforehand that this is not like my usual wrap-ups, although I am not a super fast reader anyway. I don't have like 8 books that I've read this month. I only have a few, and I also DNF'd too. So, hope you guys still enjoy the video. Hopefully it's not too much of a letdown, but I just wanted to let you know it wasn't the best reading month for me. The first book that I want to start out talking about is When in Rome. So I did do a reading vlog on When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. So if you want to hear more in-depth review, make sure to go watch that video. I'll put it right up here. This was my first Sarah Adams read, and it totally lived up to the hype. I absolutely love her prose. I feel like she's such a lighthearted, wholesome writer. So in here, everything is very digestible. When in Rome is about Amelia and Noah. Seriously, the cutest couple ever. I love them. Her comfort movie is Roman Holiday, which is an Audrey Hepburn movie. And so she gets really inspired by it, and she decides that she is going to escape to the closest Rome, which happens to be Rome, Kentucky. She really just wants a break from all of the fame. She has a tour coming up and a really big interview the next morning, so she just wants a break from all of it. So she decides she's going to escape, go to this small town, but her car breaks down in front of Noah's house, and so she has to stay with him until her car is up and running. This book is so cute. It's grumpy sunshine, small town romance, stuck with you. I feel like I'm forgetting another one, but it is super cute. I absolutely loved this story. Amelia is so down to earth, especially for being a pop star. Noah is a pie shop owner, and it's really, really cute. You guys should definitely read this. I think it's perfect for summer. Also, this book totally reminds me of Gilmore Girls and Hannah Montana the movie. I also happen to love Hannah Montana and absolutely love Gilmore Girls, so this was really fun, especially Amelia. At one point she's like running from the paparazzi. I think I gave this one 4.5 stars. It honestly felt like a 5-star read, but I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. It was so cute and definitely worth your time. You should check it out. To go along with When in Rome, we have Practice Makes Perfect. This is another Sarah Adams book, and she just came out with this, I believe, last month. It was very recent. I actually was super excited to get into this because one of my favorite aspects of When in Rome was actually a few of the side characters, so some of the townspeople, and then also Noah, the love interest, his sisters. It's about Annie Walker. This is Noah's youngest sister. She is super sweet. She actually owns the flower shop in this town, so you're still getting Rome, Kentucky. You're still getting the same people that you got in the first book. Also, her love interest is Will, who happens to be Amelia from When in Rome. This is her bodyguard. So Will is Amelia's bodyguard, which is really cool because you don't get him that much in When in Rome. I think you're introduced to him at the end of When in Rome. And then Annie, of course, I wanted to see how she finds love, especially because she's just such a hopeless romantic, and she is absolutely craving marriage. She wants a husband, she wants a family, and she really just wants to plant her roots in this town. She's just so ready to settle down, and Amelia has the bright idea to have I always want to call him Noah. Amelia has the bright idea to have Will, her bodyguard, be her dating coach, because Will, he doesn't want to settle down. He isn't looking for love. He doesn't even really like Rome, Kentucky. He wants to get out of there, but he's assigned there, so he's sticking there. But he's trying to get out. Trust me, he's really trying. It's really the perfect situation. He can show her how to date because he's kind of like the bad boy and she's the good girl, so he can show her the ropes. You see a lot of what Annie kind of struggles with, what she goes through, and it's much deeper than her just wanting to be married, and you see that throughout the book. You see her really come into herself and figure out why she's the way that she is and explore a relationship with Will. There's fake dating. It's super cute. I love how much you get Noah and Amelia within Practice Makes Perfect. So if you want to read Practice Makes Perfect, I would 100% recommend reading When in Rome first, because you get them so much. In this book was so playful. Will is an amazing communicator, which was very impressive. Also, Annie, she is so sweet, so endearing. This book, as well as When in Rome, is dual POV, which I really, really liked. I loved hearing from both Will and Annie. Next up, we have Partners in Crime. This is by Alicia Rai. This is my first book I have read by her, and oh my gosh, she has such a engaging way of writing a novel. I really felt as though I was there. Oh my gosh, this book was so funny. It was so good and so fast-paced. This is about Mira and Naveen. Mira and Naveen, they actually were set up by this Indian matchmaker. She is so highly praised. She specializes in hooking up couples together. Her success rate is crazy. It's like 99%. So this matchmaker, she ends up setting up Mira and Naveen, and so they end up dating for I think like 6 months. Mira ends up ending things with Naveen, and they don't talk for a long time. And so a lot happens in between there. This is second chance romance, so they end up meeting years later. So Mira ends up walking back into Naveen's life because her aunt passes away, and so he has to read the will to Mira. So Mira goes in, they end up seeing each other again. At this point, he's a lawyer now, she's an accountant. This is a second chance romance heist. Oh my gosh, this was so action-packed and so fast-paced. I was so impressed. They end up getting kidnapped together, roped up in some criminal activity. There are crime bosses. They are running through Vegas trying to find what they need. They are having to basically be a team together, figure out how to get themselves out of this situation while also falling for each other. It's super cute. This is more heist forward, and the romance was definitely still a main part of this story, but I just loved the adventure that they went on. It was so good, and the plot twist at the end, it was good. It was really, really good. I absolutely enjoyed it. Super cute. I will say at times it did not feel like a romance. It was just so action-packed. It felt like so much more than that. I'm actually going to talk a lot more about this book in an upcoming video. Ian and I did another swap, so be prepared for that. We have that video coming up soon, and I'm going to talk about this a lot more, so I'm going to keep it brief. I think this one would be like 3.5 stars for me, maybe 3 stars. I still really, really loved it. I know that sounds kind of low, but I promise I really liked it, but I didn't feel quite invested in this couple and in their stories individually. Now onto my Kindle. I actually have one on my Kindle and then the other one I returned. Technically, I DNF'd this book, but I was 78% of the way through, so I basically read the majority of it. It is called Hard Living by Kate Davidson. Now, I was really excited about this book. I pre-ordered it. It was my first thing that I've read from her. And I will say, I did enjoy her writing. I felt like the beginning started off really, really strong. I love the plot. Oh my gosh, I thought it was so unique. I loved it. So this is Enemies to Lovers, a rock star romance. So she is at the grocery store and she's in the chip aisle. She gets a call from her friend, and her friend is basically trying to convince her to go to an American Thieves concert. The lead singer of this band is actually standing in the same aisle as her, and he's getting annoyed because he's waiting for her to move. Anyway, she does not recognize him, and she's basically telling her friend how she hates the American Thieves, doesn't like their music. She doesn't want to go whatsoever. So Miles, the lead singer, he hears all of this. Anyway, you move on from it, and Haley ends up going to their concert. So later on that night, they end up meeting. They do like a meet and greet, and she actually doesn't recognize that he is the guy from the store, but he recognizes her. Anyway, it's just really cute how they meet, especially how embarrassing it is that she's like dissing them in front of the lead singer. I absolutely loved the premise of the story. I thought that was really cute. I was super excited about it. That's why I pre-ordered it. I wasn't prepared prepared for some of the topics at hand that would be discussed. So I would definitely look up trigger warnings before you read it, because you're dealing with SA, DV, just addictions and childhood trauma. So make sure you look up trigger warnings if you want to read it beforehand. Now, the reason why I ended up not finishing it, I thought the story took a really fun turn, especially for Haley and what she ends up having to leave behind. I really liked that direction that the story was going in, but once we got to a certain part, I just don't think the book was for me. I definitely have read plenty of books with difficult topics, but this one was a little bit too much for me personally. I was expecting more of just like a lighthearted romance, but this one you definitely deal with what it's like being a rock star and kind of what rock stars go through. It's really hard because Miles has a very difficult past, and so you really have to see how he copes with his past and what all he's gone through, and I don't know, it's just really hard to read. It's definitely not a lighthearted read, that's for sure. I can't remember one of the other bandmates, but I just thought he was really annoying and he just like rubbed me the wrong way. Didn't like it. I wasn't even, like, at first I was rooting for Haley, but then I didn't really care enough to continue, and then same for Miles, I cared for him, but I just wasn't really into their relationship. I thought it was cute at first, and then it just went downhill for me. I tried pushing through. I really tried pushing through. I figured there would probably be spice in here, which you guys know, like if there's spice, I'll just skip it, whatever, it's no big deal. But there was a scene where I just felt really uncomfortable. I really tried finishing it, and I know it's like you're 78% of the way through, might as well finish it. I just couldn't. I just felt really uncomfortable towards the end, so I decided to DNF it, which was unfortunate because I was really excited about this book, and I still think it's a really cute concept. I really liked the idea. This is also a really short book. It's like 176 pages, so there's not that much time for character development, I thought. So for me, I wasn't super invested into the characters, into the romance. It was just this next one. You guys are going to hate me for this, okay? Next book that I DNF'd was Things We Never Got Over. And I know a few of you guys are gonna be super disappointed. That book was just so not for me. And I don't know if Lucy Score, maybe she's just not an author that I'm going to be into. So for that reason, I ended up actually returning Things We Never Got Over. I think that's like the first book I've ever returned. I just could not do it. This is a small town romance, and I was really excited for it because I thought it was gonna be super cute and wholesome, and it was cute. I loved the plot, but I just felt like it was a little overhyped. I had pretty high expectations. I was really excited about it. Ruined this book for me was the love interest Knox. And I also didn't want to wait it out to see what his character development and what his character arc would be like, because I didn't even care. I made it 150 pages in, and I was suffering through that 150 pages. So this is Grumpy Sunshine, and I knew that Knox was going to be grumpy, obviously. But Knox is a different grumpy from Noah's grumpy. I thought that Knox was going to be kind of like a Noah, but no. Knox was just so... he was just so rude, and I couldn't get past it. The main character, Naomi, she's a runaway bride, and she ends up going to this town called Knockemout to help her sister out of a situation, but she ends up getting robbed by her sister. But she also finds out that she has a niece, and she's left with this niece who's 11 years old, never met her before, didn't know her sister had a daughter, and now her sister has taken her stuff and left. So she is stranded in this random town, no phone, no money, no job, no car, like nothing. Naomi's sister is also her twin. So Naomi and her sister look a lot alike. So of course, it's really funny in the beginning. There are a lot of people that are giving her a hard time because they assume that she is her sister, Tina. But Knox, he comes off really strong in the beginning, which is understandable because he thinks that she is her sister when she's not, and he doesn't like her sister. But then he just keeps going, and I'm like, dude, I thought we were over this. Why are you still being a brute about it? And so for that reason, I DNF'd it because I could not stand Knox. Knox was unbearable, insufferable, literally the worst love interest. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get past it. I was not rooting for them. So I ended up DNFing it 150 pages in, which is so hard because you're like so invested, or I felt like I was invested at that point. And I'm like, man, I just spent a lot of time reading. 150 pages. Okay, you guys, those are all the books that I read this month. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a letdown. I feel so bad. This was not a great reading month for me, but don't worry, I have really exciting books I'm going to be reading this month. Just you wait, especially summer books. Also, wait, what the heck? Thank you so much for 5,000. Wait, that doesn't even feel real. It means the world to me. I don't know why you guys like hearing my thoughts and opinions on books, but for some reason you do, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so very much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.